All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Ben Barch ended up having a high ankle sprain. Most likely will go on IR later this week. Isaac Guerendo, foot sprain. We'll evaluate him over next few days, see if he's got a shot. D. Winters, ankle day-to-day. And Malik Mustafa, chest, shoulder. He's day-to-day also. That's it.
Kyle, is the plan still to have Dre Greenlaw be able to play on Thursday night?
There's a chance to. We'll see. I haven't talked to him yet, so we'll see when he gets in here tomorrow how he's feeling, how practice goes Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll make our decision then.
Kyle, do you have updates on Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, the other guys?
Yeah, Nick Bosa, still in the same situation. We'll evaluate him as this week goes. Trent, no different. Aaron Banks cleared the protocol, so he should be good to go. And Flanagan Fouts, he's also still day-to-day with his knee.
After looking at the film, how did you feel Talanoa Hufanga did out there with Malik Mustafa?
I thought he did a real good job. Loved having Huff back. Even the first play of the game for him to get in on that tackle, his communication and everything, just helping the defense get lined up and stuff is extremely good. And it's a real good first game for him.
Kyle, what went into that decision? How difficult was it to go with Malik as the starter over Jair Brown?
Just how Malik's been playing. I think he's been playing at a high level. He's been one of the better players on our defense, I think, here over the last month or so. So it's nothing against Tig. We still want Tig to be out there, but when we had to make a decision, we kept Mustafa out there.
Do you feel like Jair Brown's production on the field or play on the field is I know he played really well last year. Is it up to that standard, or is it a little bit less?
No, I think it's the same as last year. I think Tig's playing like a good starting safety. Huff's, been our guy there and has done some big things when he's been healthy, as everyone knows with Huff. And Huff had a great week of practice, and we wanted to get him on the field, and we had to choose one guy to come off. So we felt Mustafa had earned that, over the play the last month to stay out there, and we're good with our decision.
So, Kyle, obviously Brock is fine. He talked about that kind of strange hit he took at the end of the game. He went back in, so there's no problem with him at all?
Yeah, no problem at all. He talked that way, play after it, he seemed fine, but you never know till the next day. And but trainers talking to him and stuff, he felt good, and no lingering issues from that play.
The defensive line to Caleb Williams quite a bit. What did you see from the defensive line in their production? It seemed like they were swarming pretty well.
Yeah, I just loved how they rushed as a group. Gave them very few exit windows. I thought we had really good coverage, which made them took away the number one most of the time, number two a lot of the time, and whenever we had to get to number three, our D-line was there. So I just think collectively and individually they had a really good game.
Kyle, it seems like Patrick Taylor might have it, might be forced to start. Obviously, you didn't necessarily view him, I'm sure, in a starting role, but you know how this goes. What, attracted you guys to him in the offseason and led you to acquire him?
We look for guys who have the ability to make your team, and in order to have the ability to make your team, you got to have the running skills that we like, to where we feel if your opportunity ever comes that you're going to be a tough runner who hits the right holes and fights for yards. And also, if you can't make one of those top two positions, how well you can help on special teams. So he had done both of those things in his career at Green Bay, and he's been doing them for us since he got here. And, if Isaac can't go, it'll be his opportunity. And I think as you guys saw him run yesterday, or as we did earlier in the year versus Seattle, he's a solid good back.
Isaac, after the game, didn't have a boot on. It seemed like he was putting his shoes on like there was no problem. But sometimes I guess the next morning is more difficult. That is he like 50-50, you think, or do you have any idea for Thursday?
One of the ideas I have is what I told you guys. I mean, he's got an ankle sprain and definitely couldn't go today. And so we'll see if he can go on Thursday, but definitely can't go today. It's a quick turnaround, so we got to evaluate him hard each day. I'll be surprised if he does much tomorrow, but hopefully Thursday will be enough time for him.
Hey, Kyle, with Jennings, what strikes you most about his progression at split end, and what have been some of the coaching points that go into that?
I mean, just lining up in some different spots, and we still, it's different verbiage and everything. He's listened to certain words and stuff that tell him to do things and where to line up and everything for his whole time here. And then when you move to a position he hasn't ever played before, it's just completely different verbiage and stuff on how to get him lined up. Some of the spots in the field he's at, but Juwan he does it like he does everything. I mean, Juwan goes as hard as he can in every single situation. It doesn't matter whether it's the ball's in his hands, he's running a route or he's blocking. It doesn't matter whether it's a deep throw, an underneath throw in practice or in games. Juwan is always just going 100 miles an hour and playing as physical as he can.
In this compacted time frame, have you already put the Bears game to bed with the players? Have they seen everything and you've gone over it with them?
No, we don't ever address that on a Thursday night game. Players do all rehab and stuff today. The coaches come in and we put it to bed as coaches to correct our mistakes and everything, but we do it a lot faster than we normally do because right now it's in our mind it's already Tuesday afternoon as coaches, and in a few hours it's got to be Wednesday afternoon because we got to get into the third downs and nickel and everything, and so we have everything ready for the guys tomorrow. It's kind of a crammed week, and kind of gotten used to it over the years on these Thursday night games. It's a tough 4 days, but it can lead to a really fun 3 days if you handle your business right.
What was
Kyle,
your sense
George mentioned last night that it had been some time since you had players speak at the team meeting on Saturday night, but that you had asked Demo and Brock to speak. Kind of what went into that decision, and why did you think it was important?
Just trying to change it up. Sometimes I'll have somebody speak differently and just to switch up the routine a little bit, but when you ask guys to speak, you want to make sure it's guys that people truly respect, and they respect how they play and how they carry themselves and how important the job is to them. And those are two guys we got a number of guys like that on our team, but those two guys, I just know how much our team respects them on and off the field.
What was your sense last week watching the new guy, Abanikanda, practice, just as far as how quickly he would be able to get into the mix if you needed a third running back?
He's meeting with Bobby and everybody extra. He's getting his reps on the field. We script it all, so it comes along out there, but that's more in the meeting room and everything, just being able to line up and do everything we ask. And his opportunity is getting closer, especially Isaac getting banged up. So you always got to have three guys in the building in case situations like this happen. And hopefully it doesn't have to come to that, but if it does, we expect him to be ready.
Kyle, how do you feel about Thursday Night Football? It's arguably the biggest game to date when we're talking about the 49ers playing the Rams for NFC playoff purposes. And you're having to do it on a 72-hour turnaround. When I ask you, I don't feel sorry for you or Sean McVay, but I do feel for like Guerendo or Troy Greenlaw on the other side, Super Nakua, Super Cup. What are your thoughts on TNA?
I think there's good things and negative things to it. I think that's why the players all kind of like it. It's also when you're hurting from the Sunday game. Sometimes it's why guys can't go on the Thursday game where they could go on Sunday. It just kind of depends on how the day went before and how they're going. But I think when you are feeling good and you're able to pull it off, I do think the guys really appreciate the 3-day bye week. You don't get many breaks in this league. With you only getting one bye week and one bye week in 17 weeks isn't enough. So I think sometimes it's crucial to have these Thursday night games because it is great for the mental and for the health physically for guys to get away for these 3 days. But it is always such a huge challenge when guys are banged up that they're just not ready to go on 4 days rest where they could be on 7. So it's got its pluses and minuses to it.
We'll take one more, guys.
Kyle, you said I think I'm representing this correctly, but you said last night, this team is filled with gritty guys, and a lot of those guys are your best leaders. But you felt like sometimes that grit or whatever hasn't been there at the end of games. You've been doing this a long time. Can you, all teams are different, dynamics are different, but can you put your finger on, what has been missing or why that has been?
There isn't one thing to say. It comes down to making the plays and getting it done when you are in those situations. And, I could say, you're not in those situations every single week. We were versus Tampa Bay and we got it done. So I can say that was a real gritty win, and we played with some grit there at the end. But that's just trying to put a word on the situation. It's how hard these games are to come by at the end, and teams that can pull those off consistently usually are the teams that are in the playoffs. And when we have been in those situations, we haven't pulled many of them off this year. I always keep going back to those 3 games we lost. Tampa was the opposite. We were able to get that one done. But usually most teams are going to be in a lot of those games, and you got to win more than you lose. And it hadn't been that case for us, and we wanted to make sure that coming into this game, we knew our backs were against the wall, and we thought it was going to be an opportunity to come out and show that we can do that and finish it no matter what happens. And I think we came out so well at the beginning, and we continued that we were able to was able to be a little bit more comfortable there at the end, which is always more fun. But we were prepared for any type of game, and we planned on winning that any way it would go.